Frame data should be in every fighting game from this point on. No ifs, ands, or buts. Automattock put a tweet out a few days ago saying, put frame data in the fighting game. And I can't agree more. If you don't know what frame data is, simply put, it's the lifeblood, it's the language, it's the logic behind every game. It's based upon frames of animation and how fast things work. It doesn't matter if you're playing fighting games or platformers, everything is broken down into frames. If you want to be optimal, if you want to go fast, if you want to do the most that you possibly can do, you need to learn frame data in some way, shape, or form. Even if you've raw-dogged fighting games and you've never looked at a frame data chart, you still learn it as you go. But looking at the chart, studying it, helps you learn quicker. Objectively, there's nothing bad about learning frame data. It will only help you make better decisions. So why don't more fighting games put frame data in the game? Well, they're lazy. I hate to be so blunt, I hate to be so rude about it, but there can only be one reason, and that's because they just don't want to put it in the game. There's no reason frame data should not be built into fighting games from the ground up. Everything about the game should be based around frame data. When this data is built into the game can call upon that data anytime that they want. Under the command list, there should be an option to go into the frame data of that move and all the notable things about the move. We have external tools like FAT that already do this. And if I was Capcom, I would be doing everything that I could to make sure people do not leave my game, go somewhere else, and possibly not return. If I go into the command list, you know what? Let's even change the name. It should be called Command Data. James Chens responds by saying, agree and disagree. Agree because yes, every fighting game needs frame data built into the game, but it must be implemented at the very start. If it's not procedurally generated so that whenever a move changes, so does the data automatically. It's too much work. What I think James Chens is saying is that if there's any update to the frame data of a move, let's say on block it goes from +2 to +3, it should change in the frame data included in the game.
Numbers are scary, and putting frame data into a game is a quick way to intimidate casuals into quitting. Frame data is very obtuse. I'd rather it be free DLC so you have to actively want it to get it. It's better for 90% of the players for it not to be there. Numbers so hard, I can't do this.
Let me try not to be a jerk here, but honestly, numbers are scary. Yes, if you look at a giant, huge list of them, they can be scary. However, this is why it's up to the creators of the game to implement it so that it's not scary. There should be demonstrations about frame data. There should be trials that implement frame data. There should be a way to turn on frame data while in the trials. Hell, I'm up for putting frame data on the title screen. Have it on the bottom right, scroll all the way down, and it pulls the chart up completely. And according to James Chens, players will be more likely to leave fighting games because frame data is really hard to understand. Well, I submit to you, how many players leave the game because they get dumped on because they don't know when to press buttons? Hell, how many people are still stuck in silver because they never got the grasp of what plus frames are? They don't know when their turn is, and the only way to know when their turn is to go into training room and test it, but they're in silver. They don't know how to test that. Or give them the information and tell them when they can or cannot press buttons. Street Fighter V took itself very seriously and tried to make itself an esport in and outside of the game. If you look at the visuals of Street Fighter V, it's all about being on a stage and going into a fight. It's basically esports the game. On top of it, there's active branding for CPT and other big events. How can you get a person excited to go to these big events and hopefully become the next big pro player if you don't give them the tools to become the next big pro player? Low-key, games today don't understand the fact that they are trying to be esports before they teach their players how to become esports players. A hitbox viewer should be in the game. They've shown that they can add cell shading in all these filters. There should be a filter so that it shows me the hitboxes while I'm actively in training room. Why would this not be a thing? It would only help the community. In Street Fighter 6 and all fighting games going forward, this should be the language in which we talk. The goal of Street Fighter 6 is to bring the tournament home. When I talk to people in this scene, I don't ask them, hey, does your character have a quick normal? Of course not. I say, does your character have a 3-frame? You have to ease the player into these kind of discussions, and you do so by incorporating new language as you talk about the game. Giving the player more options allows them to train better. For an example, why do I have to record something when trying to test a reversal? Guilty Gear Strive has shown that they know how to do this. How come Capcom doesn't just have a drop down, pick the move that you want to use, no recording, and that's it? DNF Duel has options for guard and hit. In Street Fighter V, you can't actually have the dummy do something on hit. It's goofy. And when you pick that move off the list, maybe you have on the side the speed of that move. No one is saying that you must put the chart in completely. However, there's no reason not to. But I think we need to start adding symbols like in DNF Duel, where you'll see if it's a projectile or if it knocks down or maybe if it's invincible, or just putting 3F for 3 frame, 8 8F for 8 frame. This is insane. This isn't a new concept. NRS games do this. They put the frame data actually in the game. When a player runs into something that they don't understand, people think they run away from it, and some people might. However, I think most people go, what the hell is frame data? And they go to Google and they type in, what the hell is frame data? How do I learn it? And then they learn about it. The people who don't understand frame data eventually will just drop off the game because they're just getting smoked. And the people who do understand frame data will slowly start to move their way up in the ranks. Not having frame data in your game will actually create a smaller concentration of the better players and leave everyone else out. They'll just quit and become Final Fantasy 14 players. So Capcom, you're going to put frame data in your game, correct? Reveal this at EVO, and I'll give you a big old kiss on the forehead. Mwah! You deserve it, Capcom. You deserve it. Hey, how's it going? This is BNK Big Nasty Kail, aka Sexy Local Man in your neighborhood. The topic of frame data has died down while I edited this video. However, it's starting to ramp up again, which means we're relevant again, boys. We're in there. Let's go. So just wanted to add something that Punkdagod said. Low-key frame data ruins fighting games. It's way more exciting and fun when expletive deleted, don't actually know the numbers, and just play by feel and raw knowledge. If any pro player tells you, hey, you don't actually need the tools that I use every time I play, they're gaslighting you. How do you think Punk is so good at every character in the game? He's got a deep understanding of the frame data in Street Fighter V. And even if that were true, Punk would be the exception, not the rule. Do you want to lose 10 matches because you're not sure when to hit a button after a move and you keep trying to test different things out until you figure it out? Or do you just want to look it up on a chart, find out after you lose one, and then never have to deal with it again? Do you want to grow slow or do you want to grow fast? Choice is yours. Also, controversy also creates good engagement, which is good for a content creator. People on Twitter really take everything seriously. It's so funny. A tweet I don't care about, then why tweet it? And Made for Fun has everyone attacking me or just arguing in the comments. Frame data or not, none of y'all playing me for 1,000, so do your opinion really matter? I mean, what more is there to say? And now, back to Pascal. And the lands will rejoice. I'll be happy. I know you will too. And I'll make a video about it because I've been enjoying making a lot of Street Fighter 6 content just like this one here. I believe the roster has been leaked, and if you want to see who might be in the game, probably will be, click on the video right over here, and I'll see you over there.